Hey everybody, it's PJ from Wisconsin Air Gunners. We're out on the backyard range today and we're going to be doing some accuracy testing with the JSB Hades pellet. So the testing we're going to do today is to test between the JSB Hades using the magazine in the Brocock Bantam Sniper and the single load method with that same rifle. I've got a theory that the Bantam does not like the longer style pellet, and the JSB Hades is based on that longer style pellet. It seems to catch periodically when you cycle the bolt, and I think it's just the longer pellet not being perfectly able to wiggle its way into the barrel. And it caused me a little bit of concern. So we're going to test that today. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. This is just testing a theory. So let's get into some shooting. The rifle we're testing today is a 25 caliber Brocock Bantam Sniper HR. This one is, or was, tuned by Ken Hicks of Southern Precision Air Weapons. It's shooting these Hades 25 caliber pellets at about 820 feet per second. Up front, we're shooting off an Accutac bipod. As almost always, there's a Donnie FL moderator out front. In this case, it's the Tanto. In terms of scope, I have the MTC Optics Cobra F1 first focal plane scope. At that view, we're not going to see the reticle, sorry. And we'll be shooting out to 50 yards. So here's what we're working with today. On the right, you have the standard 25 caliber Brocock rotary magazine. It works really well. I like it a lot. It's super easy to load. Just push a pellet in and rotate the cylinder. No complaints there. Like I said, I want to test out this theory that the longer design of the JSB Hades pellet in 25, which is based off of the heavier JSB pellet, it might not be angled the right way, I guess you'd say, to get into the breech on the Bantam. On the left is the standard single shot tray that comes with the Brocock Bantam Sniper HR, and in the middle is a single shot loader that was developed by Goran Kovacevic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We've exchanged messages over Instagram primarily, but he and I worked together on this, and when I say he and I worked together, I took some measurements and sent them to him, and he 3D designed and 3D printed this guy. It's a pretty cool setup. There's lots of single loaders that are like this. What I asked was that he design one that opens to the left. I'm a right-handed shooter. I pull the bolt back on the right, I put a pellet in on the left, and we are ready to go. It works really well. So here's the loader in the rifle. Get the bolt back. Pull that forward. Insert your pellet. Close that up. Bolt goes forward, and you're ready to fire. So I have the gun loaded up, I have 10 pellets set out. Going to take a 10 shot group, then we'll switch over to the magazine and we'll shoot 10 shots with the magazine. Not run scope cam right now, and it's we're shooting at about 20 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit outside. A little colder than I want to set my camera out on the target, so you just have to take my word for it that I'm actually shooting what I say I'm shooting. I guess if you don't believe what you see, then you might as well stop watching the video now. But target's out at 50 yards. I'm gonna shoot this group of 10, and then we'll shoot a second group. Oh, by the way, pellets are straight out of the tin, unweighed, unsorted. Kind of looked at them just to make sure they weren't screwed up, but just 10 pellets. Okay, so we're going to air the gun back up and load the magazine up and shoot 10 more. So see you in a minute. So since I have to do it, and you may never have seen it, I'm going to show you how these load up. This is a standard Brocock magazine, similar but not interchangeable with the Daystate magazine, but it's really a simple magazine to load. Take your pellet, in this case the Hades, pop it in there, rotate it. Pop it in there, rotate it. Pop it in, rotate it. Pop it in, rotate it. You don't have to repeat pop it in and rotate it every time, but that's what you're doing. When you get to the end, it won't rotate anymore. It's all full. Holds 10. The 25 holds 10, and the 22 holds 10. Those are the only ones I've ever had, so I can't speak for the 30 cal or the 177. They may be different. So got that loaded up, and now we're going to shoot a group, and we'll see how it compares. That's funny, I've been shooting so much with that single shot loader that I actually went to move my left hand to open it and get the next pellet ready. Guess I really don't need to do that. What you have to watch for is the little red dot that rotates around. There's nothing with this magazine design, though it has its strengths, there's nothing that tells you, hey, you're out of pellets. So you either have to count in your head, that's not my thing, or you have to watch for this red dot. So I have one more pellet to fire. So what I'm going to do is repeat it. I'm going to shoot 10 more with the mag, and then I'm going to follow that up with 10 more with the single shot loader. And then we're going to go look at the target. Actually, going to look at all 4 targets. So real quick, why am I shooting 2 groups of 10 each way? Our plan at Wisconsin Air Gunners is this. we shoot the groups, and that's what the groups are. That's it. But there is something to be said for repeatability. So if we do it once, the possibility is it's an anomaly. If we do it twice and it comes out the same way both times, we feel a lot stronger about it. So in this case, this test doesn't take all that long, so gonna shoot her again. I think also because I've got a theory on this, and I really want to know whether I'm totally off base or not. So, all right, see you in a minute. So it's hung up just ever so slightly, and it's like the longer design of the heavier JSB 25 caliber pellets, which the Hades is designed on. It's like it just takes up too much space in the magazine, so the probe can't kind of like just, I don't know, lift it, angle it, whatever, into space. But I get that, where the bolt just hitches a little bit. I'll tell you where this pellet goes, because I suspect it may not be a particularly well-behaved pellet. Believe it or not, that actually went exactly into the hole that the first two pellets made. So despite that hitch, this has turned into a pretty good group. That one not as much. Last one. So that last one went a little bit left. And I would say that that's somewhat based on some wind that just picked up from east to west. It's been a very calm morning, kind of unseasonably calm, which is super nice. But that one did go a little bit that way. All right, I'm going to gas it up, and then we're going to shoot 10 more with the single shot loader. Okay, here we go. 10 more rounds through the single loader. Snowed each of the last 2 days, so as that little bit of breeze kicks up, it's moving snow out of the trees. quite a bit. I haven't tested the ballistic coefficient of these, but people say it's a little bit less than the Mark II heavies, so but they do move a little bit in the wind. I mean, they're 25, so they're pretty good. Okay, well that's 10 more, so let's go look at the target. So here are your targets. On the right, upper and lower, you have the JSB Hades 25 cal at 50 yards using the Brocock magazine. And on the left, you have them fired out of a single shot tray. You guys watched me shoot. I guess if you think I suck, then to hell with it. But I'll go and look at this stuff with the calipers, but to my eyes, the single shot tray is more accurate with the Hades. I haven't tried loading a single shot tray and shooting other pellets. I've been satisfied with the magazine. It's just been that little bit of hitch when you cycle the bolt that causes me some concern. I think that this phenomenon is probably limited to the Brocock itself. I don't think this would translate over to an FX magazine or anything like that, because the probe design is different. The probe design on the Brocock uses a pin and pushes from the middle, and that's where I think it just gets a little out of whack sometimes. Sometimes it feeds just fine, sometimes it's out of whack. This is the first shot. Ignore that top one. That was cold bore, and I intentionally had the scope dialed up so it wouldn't hit the target. So that's the first 10 single shot. Then we have the first 10 with the magazine. Have the second 10 with the magazine, and then the final. The wind was starting to pick up on this one, and this guy right here actually was the first shot and had next to no wind. This guy somewhere in the middle of the string, and a gust came in, took a bunch of snow off the trees. I watched that one walk right over. So really this kind of main body of the group is 8 shots with what I would consider as a pretty consistent wind. So there's a little bit of a push there. Those aren't bad 50-yard groups for a hunting pellet. And to be honest, these would be dead pigeons as well at 50. Well, let's go get some measurements. So first we're looking at the group shot with the Brocock magazine. Both groups are almost exactly identical in terms of their measurement, just over 1.6 inches. When we turn our eyes to the first of the single shot loader groups, we're just under an inch, which isn't superb, but it's a lot more promising than the magazine fed group. When we look at the second group fired with the single shot loader, we're at a less impressive 1.37 inches. But if we take the no wind shot and the big push shot out of the equation, we have 8 of 10 shots in 3/4 of an inch. And that's a significant improvement over any of the groups we saw today. So how does any of this apply to a hunting situation? And what am I going to use in the future when I'm out in the field? On this particular day, we waited for about 3 hours for an opportunity on this really pretty sizable flock of pigeons. They didn't seem at all interested in the feed. They were just kind of looking for a place to hang out for the afternoon. So based on our test results, we're out using the single shot tray. And we've got this pigeon ranged all alone at about 92 yards. You see the pellet go just over its back. We were trying to sort out what the wind was doing, and we just didn't quite compensate enough. So at this point we've made our adjustment, which unfortunately involved bumping the camera mount. But here goes the shot. Still about 90 to 95 yards. We had to slow this shot down to really see what happened. You'll catch the pellet coming in right here, and it actually hits the bird low just above the tail feathers. Taking a close look at this, even at a YouTube friendly drive-by pace, you can see the massive amount of damage that the JSB Hades pellet did. We were able to move into position to get a follow-up shot on this bird because it wasn't really going anywhere too fast at that point. We did not, unfortunately, get the follow-up on video. If you can remember why you started watching the video in the first place, it was to determine if the JSB Hades pellet in .25 caliber was more accurate single-loaded in the Brocock Bantam Sniper HR versus using a magazine. And based on our test results, I think that it is. We have 2 more reviews on tap as we continue looking at the JSB Hades in .25. One will be to test accuracy of the pellet in the FX crown, and the other will be to see how it shoots out of the Humorex gauntlet. So stay tuned. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. And as always, shoot straight and shoot safe. We'll see you in the next one.